What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Grave Media. This is Josh, you're checking in on you out there in YouTube land. How are you doing? Welcome to Beyond the Grave Media After Dark. We've kind of created like a little vibe here. We've got the candles going. As usual, we're talking about some more heavy films. This is from Lars von Trier. This is a movie, you know, the one thing about me, this is a film that kind of like The Witch or other films that just kind of have like this fall vibe, Sleepy Hollow, things like that. Those are natural films for fall. This one right here reminds me of fall, The Forest, anything like that. Sator, The Ritual, some of those kind of like heavy, dense, wooded films get me in the mood for fall, and it's coming, dude. Fall's just a few more days away, and we're gonna be there. Tonight, we are talking about Antichrist. Let's get into it. Thanks for being here. And fair warning, this movie is considered shocking, it is considered traumatic, and I love it. I wrote like 4 pages on what I think about this movie. I don't think I'm going to get into all of it, but bear with me, I might talk a little quick, because I like it. Antichrist from 2009 opens in this glorious black and white with snowfall and extreme close-ups of carnal knowledge. Shots of a baby monitor and an open window. Swelling operatic sounds are interrupted by a tragedy. Right out the gate, this film challenges the viewer with upsetting imagery. Lars von Trier is the real deal, and he is here to ruin your day. A parent's worst nightmare come true. A scene that rivals the death of Gage from Pet Sematary is probably the main reason why I seldomly revisit this film. The death of a child. It's hard for me to watch. It quickly transitions to the next installment, grief. Antichrist is the story of he, Willem Dafoe, and she, Charlotte Gainsbourg. He is a psychiatrist complicit in his guilt, and she, a struggling mother who feels at fault. He is concerned with her grief and the amount of meds she is taking to cope, and she is a sufferer from atypical grief and not as quick to process and move on. The pair becomes stuck, and an intervention looms. This film is tragic. It's pain, it's suffering, it's punishing, and it's made really, really well. Does he hang on some of these shots and punish you for a long time? Maybe too long? Probably so, but say what you will about the methods used for the treatment, it does affect the viewer, myself. We get a front row seat to see how a family processes the grief and death of a child. Harsh remarks, venomous tones, punishing action, accusatory he said, she said. To tell someone that they feel indifferent to the death of their child, that shit is just ruthless. Luckily, through clever camera angles and haunting music, von Trier offers small releases of tension by cutting away. This film is psychological, a dream state, a hellish nightmare, a jarring experience that is just beautiful in spots to look at. 2 things that can be true at the same time. Something can be beautiful to look at and then also overly cringe. Power struggles, dominance, physical and mental abuse. No means no unless your partner is your therapist. Bone-crunching graphic, buckle up. When this film decides to transition from Seattle to the cabin, it's so powerful. The soundscapes in the forest become a character within themselves. Excellent usage of slow motion, the tree roots, the fog, haunting. Absolutely incredible. There's a scene where she melts into the grass and you can hear Willem Dafoe say, "What the mind can conceive, it can achieve." You can also see similarities between movies like this and all those A24 films. Smart, gorgeous to look at with a range of color palettes that are super soothing while also being haunting. If you can withstand the trauma, this is an amazing film. It's easily a 10 to look at, and then you've got Willem Dafoe just chewing up screen time with menacing, like, reckless abandon. Nature versus nurture in every sense of the word. This film continues to escalate as the couple isolates themselves in this cabin for therapeutic purposes. He is suffering from like violent visions, and she becomes ever increasingly sexual with her sadomasochism and violence. Then we get to the scene. You know why we're here. We're here to talk about the scene. The last 20 to 30 minutes of this movie are so intense, and there's a couple of scenes that everybody remembers. You're either disgusted or you tell your buddy, like, dude, you gotta watch this movie. There's some stuff that happens you'll never forget. The scene that we're talking about involves a giant piece of lumber, something really splintered up that happens to land in Willem Dafoe's grundle area that becomes very painful and very bloody, and then the scene for her involves a pair of scissors and mutilation and the things that they choose to show and the way that they zoom in on it. It's very intense, and yeah, it's not soon to be forgotten. Antichrist as a movie, I just think that this is kind of like a Wiccan, like, folktale. Like, that's the way that I kind of interpret it now, because it is very open-ended. When she's like writing her thesis or whatever, when she's back at Eden and she's talking about Satan and witchcraft and like all the things in the forest and she can't finish it, that to me, that's kind of like the That's like her purpose, was she was afraid of the devil and she was worried about the things in the forest coming after. Like, she was complicit in the death, right? So I think this is a great pre-Halloween flick to kind of get you in the mood for fall. It's heavy, it's not for everybody, but that's why I love it. Guys, that pretty much wraps us up for Antichrist. I could talk about this movie for a long time. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you how damn good this thing looks on Blu-ray. This might as well be a 4K release. It has no business looking this. I can't show you a lot of what's inside because there's some nudity, but I think it's a 4K scan. It might be the best Blu-ray that I have. Criterion kills it, tons of special features. Absolutely incredible film. A little pretentious in spots, sure. Is a little heavy-handed, absolutely. Every time I see it though, I go for a ride and I always end up liking it. So awesome movie. If you want to see more from me, like, comment, subscribe, let me know, have you seen this film? Talk some mess down there, share it with a friend, and then follow me on social media. I'm trying to procure a real copy of Traces of Death so we can review that thing, because after doing Faces of Death, I think we really the channel needs it, right? It's for the greater good of the channel. Thanks for being here. See you soon. Cheers.
Delicious. Good.